Hello and welcome to UBP TV. Let's talk about growth prospects, and particularly after the massive renewed action from central banks seen in January. During the month, the world outlook has been revised down by the IMF and also the consensus. Worldwide growth is expected around 3.5% this year, which is not very different from the 3.3% growth estimated for the past year. So a very modest acceleration is expected this year. Our scenario remains cautious. We expect only a 3.4% world growth and no more than 3% in the US, almost 1% in the Eurozone, and an ancient 7% trend in China. At the same time, inflation has continued to decline. The inflation outlook for 2015 points toward a very low 0.8 average inflation in developed countries. This context of a sluggish growth trend and a rising deflation risk has forced central banks to react, and particularly the ECB. What we saw in January is a renewed global easing from central banks. Central banks in emerging countries have decreased their key rates, and the ECB has seemed to take the leadership, announcing an open-ended QE defined by 60 billion euros of monthly purchases of assets. We come to some key conclusions from these renewed monetary supports, which are important for markets and asset allocators. Large liquidities will remain available for credit on market. Low key rates and consequently low nominal yield and low cost of capital for firms, weakening currency and increasing competition across countries. We think that all these measures will probably remain in place for several years, for example until September 2016, at least for the ECB, as it will take time to revive growth. Finally, financial assets have definitely become part of central bank monetary tools. Prices of assets are a concern for central banks, which was not the case before the crisis. After this monetary support and the strong reaction on financial assets, the final 1 trillion euro question is: what impacts on real activity could we expect from this renewed monetary action, and particularly for the Eurozone? The first impact could be in terms of cost of credit. The cost of credit should continue to moderate significantly. In Spain and Italy, the cost is still too high, and it has not yet fully reflected the easing from the ECB. So we should see some rebound in credit demand. Another impact in terms of weakening of the euro currency. This weakening of the euro should benefit Germany, the largest exporter of the Eurozone, and also Italy and Spain, which compete traditionally with Asian and emerging countries. Another impact would be on confidence. We expect a positive impact in terms of confidence for business and consumers. Nevertheless, it will take time to transmit to the real economy. Thus, growth in Eurozone should remain modest this year, still around 1%, but it should be firmer than expected next year, probably more than 1.5%. Thank you, and see you soon on UBP TV.